It's a thoughtful Thursday this morning. Good morning, welcome in. Come on in. I'm Marsh, joined this Thursday by Ceej. Ceej, what's on your mind this morning, my man?
I'm feeling thoughtful. I'm just happy that it's Friday light today. Diet Friday, whatever you want to call it. But we
Diet
we made it. We're
Friday.
here.
Ooh.
Yeah, yeah.
Ooh, I
That's what
like
I'm
that
thinking
one.
about. That's what I'm thinking about.
Nice. That is a good one. Look, Thursday's the best day of the week. I'm not gonna hear arguments otherwise. But it is also not a great day to be a Dallas Maverick, where the Dallas Mavericks fall down 0-3 last night. Luka Doncic commits four fouls in the fourth quarter. He's gone with four and change left, and they do what they've been doing this whole series and just be one step behind the Boston Celtics. 106-99, 3-0 series lead now. Siege for the Boston Celtics.
Yeah, it's not looking great for these Mavericks. I mean, I'm not really sure what happened to this team, and the only thing I can possibly think of is that this Celtics team just is for real. I feel like there's been all these qualifiers all playoffs long. Oh, they have the easiest path and all that. But first of all, you know how you get the easiest path? You get the first seed. Everyone's like, oh, seeding doesn't matter. Yes, it does. You get the first seed, you're gonna get the easiest path. That's how it works. And look, as much as I'm a Celtics hater, there's been all these qualifiers about this team that this and that, and Tatum hasn't been playing super well in the finals and whatever, but they look like the best team in the NBA. Simply put, they really do. Um, and they're showing it right now. Could we see miraculously the first 3-0 comeback ever in any round, let alone the NBA Finals, the SCBA Finals? Probably not. But you never know. You never say never. You got Kyrie Irving, you got Luka, but it's looking grim. It's looking grim for all the Celtics haters out there.
Yeah, and it was bound to happen eventually. The Boston Celtics were going to be one of two things in these postseasons. In this postseason, they were going to be either the flop they were always, or they were going to be what every champion has to overcome, which is the doubt, the criticism, the critiques, the unwarranted unbelief. And this is, I think, statistically like the third or fourth best team in terms of point differential. It's a 60 plus win team. If they win one more game, they're an 80 win team for the season. If you include the 16 for the postseason, so it's a 64. This is a really, really good basketball team. I think we've said that before, where it was just that they hadn't done it yet, and that's why everyone was skeptical. I've said this many times. These guys were a prisoner of their own way too early success because the East sucked. They made the conference finals in 2017, so we instantly started saying, "Okay, now you got to make the next step." They were 18 years old, 19 years old. Jason Tatum's 26, I think, same age. I only use him because of the track record of which he has had since then. Same age of Steph Curry is his first championship. This is the age people win championships in their late mid 20s, mid to late 20s. This is when you get it.
Marsh, you're
Because we got
saying you're
spoiled.
saying Tatum
Go
is
ahead.
Steph Curry. Tatum is Steph Curry is what you're
Ooh, I
saying.
sure hope not. I sure hope not. That's a big stretch. It's a big stretch. But to the game itself, um, the the Celtics just have consistently the one extra guy, and when Dallas got this thing to 93-90, they just stopped being able to make baskets, and it kind of felt like this inevitable tease that we were going to get. It was going to be an awesome run by Dallas. They get back into it from down 20, and then they just cannot get that last little chip over the top, and then it's Drew Holiday making a play. It's Derek White making a play. Dallas doesn't have either of those guys because Jason Tatum continues to not be any good, and Jaylen Brown has been fantastic. There's not the equivalent third, fourth, fifth option on Dallas that you have on Boston.
No, absolutely not. And relate this back to some SimWorld prep action. Was talking the other day on the post up about specifically SimWorld Europe win over Oceania, and I was talking about the championship caliber teams, the teams that make runs. What do they have? They have an X factor. The Celtics have a few X factors. The X factor for SimWorld Europe in that game was Ty Merca, and the Celtics have Drew Holiday, who to me is more of a third option than an X factor, but he absolutely is an X factor. They have Derek White. Kristaps Porzingis, when he was playing, was an X factor. Even Al Horford has some games where he's an X factor. He always has. So this Celtics team, just like you said, they've got a few more guys. Not a few more. They got a lot more guys down the roster who can make a play, can go get a bucket, things like that. And so it's teams that not only find one X factor, but the Celtics have found a slew of X factor options. That's what makes this roster so impressive behind, Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. So yeah, the Mavericks just don't quite have the roster composition that the Celtics have by any means.
So if Dallas is going to make a comeback, what are they going to have to do?
Win games, not foul. Not, I mean, it's hard to see a path
Stop
out
it.
of this. The only path to me I see out of it is, I want to say a Luka Doncic triple double every game, but that's been kind of going on and not happening. Kyrie Irving needs to start dropping 50. Like we just said, I don't know if their roster composition has that third guy who's going to step up and who's going to kind of give them a bunch to get a win. So I think maybe you just got to get more from your top guys. But this Celtics team is such a complete team. I don't really see any holes to exploit.
I do, and that's
Okay.
sagging off of Jason Tatum from deep. He shot 4 of 13. That's 30%. He's been awful from downtown. If I am the Dallas Mavericks, you're down 3-0. What's the worst thing that happens? You lose another game. Sink off of Jason Tatum and let him have a huge night from deep to close you out because he has been for weeks now awful from deep, and I don't think they've done a great job of exploiting that. Um, they might think that he's going to come back around. I don't think he's a good three-point shooter. He's been a 35% three-point shooter. Did it on the podcast on Monday. Make Jason Tatum beat you because right now, to your point, as you listen to all those X factors, there's not a really great option for you defensively otherwise. So, again, what's the worst that happens? You lose again? Oh my God, you've done it 3 times. That's not like this is a new realm for you guys. It's not like the series tied at 2 and it's a must-win game to go up 3-2. So I don't know. That'd be what I'd do because Kyrie was pretty good last night, honestly. All right, let's send it on over to where the run to one continues tonight. Games beginning at 6 p.m. with Bad Boys basketball, the Originators, Queen City Kings, Southeast Select, and then of course our 8 seed Darlings. SimWorld Middle East against SimWorld Asia Pacific and Bay Area versus Beyond the Arch. What are you looking for tonight, and any matchups that are particularly juicy for you?
Well, of course, we're all excited for SimWorld Middle East to play again. This is the Cinderella, the Disney story, but it should be a good matchup against last year's kind of Cinderella in SimWorld Asia Pacific. I'm actually really, really looking forward to this Bad Boys basketball originators game. Bad Boys basketball, I think, has been overlooked all year. No, their record isn't the greatest thing ever, but it's not a bad record. They're a good team. They're led by senior guards. They're led by Samuel Bogus, Bo Pagnati Jr., and there's the emergence of Trey Greer, who's been really good over the second half of the season and during the run to one in their first game. Their defense is good. They got great bigs who can compete with an Ilgauskas and a Cooper Flag to a certain extent. I think this could be our next game that I'd put on upset watch. I really like what Bad Boys does, and you always talk about it when it comes to postseason basketball. What do you want? You want an experienced guard who can go get a bucket, who can also facilitate, who can score from 3 levels, and who do you got on that side? You got Samuel Bogus. Samuel Bogus could be the guy, take down this Originators team, and I'm not so sure that they wouldn't be my pick. I really like this Bad Boys team, so I'm really looking forward to that one.
I think that they've done a great job with this group. I think they have a lot of nice pieces. Obviously, Samuel Balgas and Bo Pagnati, as you mentioned, have just been they just play the game together really well. I don't think I remember. Compare them to both of them to TJ McConnell, and after the outburst that TJ had in the conference finals, it's kind of turned into a compliment because they've also turned it up recently as well. They've both been really good, and I think they both have that the ability if the game is late, and this is something that the North did not have. Both of those guys can be a difference maker. They can take the ball off the dribble. They can get active. So I think it's really important for Bad Boys to stay within striking distance because if they are, both of those guys are the type of guy, fourth quarter, sub 4 minutes, you can say, oh, ball's in Pagnati's hand? Okay, I like that option. Or Samuel Balgas is bringing it up. Okay, I like what we're doing here. To me, though, from an upset watch, Southeast Select concerns me. This is a team that really got exposed defensively, and they're going up against a Queen City Kings team that has a lot of offensive options. Obviously Marco Jacobs, chief among them, but Taz Journey, Sky Durant. This is not a team that's lacking offensively. The challenge for Queen City Kings has just been inconsistency throughout the season. You're getting hot at the right time. I mean, the regular season, as we've talked about before, Siege, kind of like halfway through, once you figured out what does work, really, you should just be start figuring out what else works. Not to say that that's what Skinny Washington has been doing. I think that just team has been up and down. But from an upset standpoint, Southeast Select's defense has been very iffy. And in their first round game, they were allowing a ton of runs right to the rack. So if they can clean that up, I think Southeast could hold on. But otherwise, Queen City Kings, I think, has to be a team that you take very serious against, again, a defensive matchup that could favor them. And of course, like you said, Middle East and Beyond the Arch are just going to be fun to watch from they've got that UMBC vibe around them. I just want to see what happens. What are we going to get out of them? Are they going to go nuts? Are they going to fizzle out? Wherever it ends, it's going to be worthwhile watching. So that's what we've got on deck tonight. Let's head over to some future looking pieces where we have some breaking news coming in this morning that Kai Killins has chosen his destination, and he is going to be headed to the Bayou Baton Rouge to be an LSU Tiger. Kai Killins to the Tigers. Congratulations to Kai. Siege, your initial thoughts.
Well, I mean, Texas boy, looks like he moved down to New Orleans to play with Gulf Coast Lockdown, and I guess he loves it there. He loves it there. He's not going back. He's not going back to Texas. He likes it down there in Louisiana. Maybe he likes the food, likes the cooking, but no, I like this for him. You know, he's gonna go play SEC ball. Maybe not at one of the huge SEC basketball schools, but he's gonna go play SEC ball at a pretty decent program. You know, early on, but hey, you got to kind of pave your own way. Like you can see there, he's from Houston, Texas. Most Texas kids, you're gonna immediately have everyone saying, you know, you going to Texas, you going to Texas A&M, Baylor, all these things. But he's gonna pave his own way. He went down to play with Gulf Coast Lockdown. He's gonna go play with LSU. And you know, I love that for him. I love that for him, and he's got the kind of talent where other talent is going to gravitate towards him. So LSU, this is big for them, getting a commit from him so early on. Other prospects are going to look at LSU a lot heavier now that they know they're going to get to play with Kai Killins than they might have before. So big win on both sides. Happy for the guy, and wishing him a lot of success.
Some notable pieces of this roster that he's going to be walking into that he's going to get at least one season to play with. Akeem Young committed there. Patricio Ramirez had a really nice season for them last year as well. Shake Travis on the wing. So you're now looking at an LSU Tigers squad with head coach Matt McMahon as it sits currently. Four guys at that six whatever size. Kai Killins is what 6'5", 6'6", and above. That is long. That is new age basketball. It's going to be a tough team to contend with. My only concern, our last notable LSU star top recruit would be one Ben Simmons. So let's just hope we're not getting a repeat of the old Benjamin route.
Old Benjamin.
So my only hesitation there, although I do not think Kai Killins already is a better shooter than Ben Simmons is, and Ben Simmons is like still somehow like 26 years old. So his first NBA champ or SWBA championship will be coming in no time. All right, let's head to Tuesday's games as we just get ready. Another little hype up for Thursday. Let's recap again, remind you what stood place on Tuesday in a SimWorld prep wrap up. Let's kick things off with a DMV Philadelphia game in which Philadelphia man, that defense was good. DMV's defense ended up being good in the second half, but it didn't matter. A 58-40 win. Monte Parson in that one. You'll remember a double-double, 18 and 11. Philadelphia, though, scored just 17 second half points. They were able to keep Keith Singleton in check. He went 5 of 12 for 12 points in the loss for Run DMV after they pulled the upset over Beast of the East. That Cinderella run of theirs was not to last long.
Next, we'll move on. The Yacht Club taking on Gulf Coast Lockdown in the southern region. The Yacht Club really kind of had the lead in this game the whole way, but Gulf Coast Lockdown took a little while to heat up. Kai Killins couldn't get going for the first couple quarters. Once he did, 19 for Kai, same 21 for Darius McBride on the other side. But in the end, it was just kind of the whole thing was controlled by the Yacht Club. They controlled the pace. They played their game. They made Gulf Coast play their game.
SimWorld Europe takes down SimWorld Oceania in large part due to their big men. Andrei Ivanov was fantastic in this one, dominated inside 20 points and 11 boards. Ivan Suslov, 12 and 6. Tommy Hughes, a surprising little night from him, 17 points on 7 of 12 shooting, as this defense for Europe held Oceania to 39% shooting from the floor.
High scoring affair is expected here, but how about this? Justin Bell is back. Another big game for Justin Bell on the way to a win over Best Coast Ballers. 24 for him, 19 for Dink Pate. Rocky Mountain Monsters offense, you talk about getting hot at the right time. We know they got a good offense, and they are on fire right now. 82-71 victory for Rocky Mountain Monsters over the Best Coast Ballers.
And that is our show. We got a little wrap up in there. We got some commitment news again. Run to One continues tonight at 6 p.m. A quadruple header. Bad Boys OGs kicks things off, and we're running all the way down to Bay Area Breakers and beyond the Arch in our 4 games of the day. Ceej, are we going to catch you on the post up tonight between games as well?
Where else would I be?
I don't know. That's a great question.
I'll be on the post up. I'll see you there.
Great follow-up. All right. So Ceej is going to get you. He's coming back to you before you see anybody. Well, you'll see a couple more people. But anyway, you're going to get more Ceej action tonight. Plenty of great calls going on tonight. The one and only Sam on color for the first 2 games, and then Maestro on the second. I tell you what, folks, you're getting a real treat with Sam and Maestro delivering the color for our 4 games tonight. So we'll come back tomorrow morning, recap all of it. Maybe some more commitment news. Who knows? It's certainly ramping up now that players and coaches and scouts all in one spot down in Houston. Ceej, appreciate you coming on. Folks, appreciate you tuning in. We'll be back tomorrow morning here on SimWorld Today on SimWorld TV, the only place you can see the game be the game.